while we're waiting for the guys to leave, I'd like to welcome Tiago, who is our University Placement Officer, to the session. Welcome, Tiago.
Thank you, Narly.
What this session is about, and Ray again will moderate this session, but it's about the whole university placement process. And so Tiago will be your main point of contact in terms of your university applications, looking at your university options, and supporting you through that process. And he works with the universities directly to kind of be your advocate in terms of your application to the university partners. So I'll hand over to Ray and Tiago, and again, if you have any questions, pop them in throughout the session. You don't have to wait to the end. Just keep popping them in, and we'll come to them as we go.
Fantastic. Thanks again, Nerily. Tiago, I have to be honest, I'm really looking forward to this session because these are the questions I get asked every day, every week, all over the world.
I know.
And thanks very much for joining us, and I know how busy you are, so appreciate your time. Could you maybe just start with what are the opportunities for students after DIFC as a starting point, please?
Absolutely. So when you complete your course at DIFC, you will have 30 plus universities to choose to progress. And with that, we are talking about more than 2,000 courses, different courses. So you have a huge number of opportunities to progress. We have a very, very strong university network. So that pretty much cover every single subject or every single course that you could think about it. So we have our main partners are in UK, Ireland, for most of the courses. And of course, if you are applying for medicine, we have options outside of Ireland, UK. We have in a couple of countries in Europe and even outside Australia, New Zealand. So you have a very, very good mix of universities.
Great, thanks, Tiago. And then another question that gets commonly asked is how recognizable are the certificates across Europe and globally? Because, you know, it's something that's hugely important to people to know where they study their pathway afterwards, you know, what are the job opportunities going to be? So if you could just talk about the recognition there, please.
So you're talking about the recognition of DIFC, of NEC UK.
Well, no, it's really because after they finish at DIFC, they're going to go to a partner, either the UK or Europe, or even further afield like SGU or Penang in Malaysia. So it's going to be how recognizable those things are later.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you finish DIFC, you will be able to progress to all our network partners. And that means they all fully accept our final results here at DIFC. So you will have no problem in terms of progression to the universities. And then, of course, we have very high ranking universities. They are well recognized all over the world. So you will have no problem with your certificate after as well to find jobs and things like that. I think it's a brilliant pathway that gives you so many opportunities and so many strong universities that I think you'll be just fine.
Great, thanks, Tiago. A question that we get asked commonly is really around scholarships. And I suppose for some university partners, they have scholarships in place for certain programs. Some are based on academic grades, others are based on early payment of fees. But one that we commonly get asked is, are there scholarships available for medicine?
Yes, for that, I would like to share my screen. Is that possible? Could you make me? I
think Nerily would need to do that. She has control.
If it's possible, Josh?
Yeah, that's done. You should be able to share your screen.
Yeah, okay. So before sharing my screen, I would like to clarify just one point. So if you are looking for full scholarship, that's not going to happen, okay? So there is no 100% scholarship for any international student through our partner network. But we do have a smaller scholarship that goes from a couple of thousands until 90,000 of scholarship, $90,000 scholarship. So it's a huge range of scholarships. Just for you to have an idea, for example, for our UK partners, so you have a list of all scholarships available. So some scholarships will be automatically, so you don't have to do anything. Just because you were applying through the DIFC, they will already going to give those scholarships to you straight away. You don't have to do anything. But you should have extra scholarship that you can apply on those universities. So for example, we have here Aston, you have Birmingham. So you have a whole list of scholarship, and you do have, for example, some could be 5,000 euros, or in this case, it's pounds. So 2,500, 10,000. So you have a huge range of scholarships that you can apply. And you do have that in Ireland as well. Usually with the Irish partners, we will do all of that for you. So it will come in your conditional offer already, whatever scholarship they have available. But all universities have extra that you can apply. You don't have to do anything now. You don't have to do anything during your application process. It's just after. If you decide to progress and accept the final offer for that university, when you do your registration, you can apply for all those extra scholarships. So the answer, yes, we have a lot of options, okay, a lot of scholarships. But again, there's no full scholarship.
Okay, thanks, Tiago. Can you just talk a little bit about how the university placement process works? And this is especially important because some students come into DIFC thinking, oh, my friend made their application to university already, and why haven't I? And what kind of documentation is needed? And really, like, we always advise them to speak to our placement team and speak to you, because different rules really apply to DIFC students. So if you could just touch on that to put people's minds at rest a little bit.
Absolutely. So I know that if you go through the university's website and you check the UClass deadlines, those deadlines do not apply to us, okay? We have our own deadline. We have a very strong partnership with the universities. So we are going to guide you through all those applications. So you don't have to worry about it. And we are going to do that together. Okay, usually we will have special tutorials for each one of those applications for each university, and I'm going to make the application with you. So there is no, you don't have to worry. Yes, some of the students already come with a conditional offer, but that is a special case, okay? And it doesn't mean that that student has the offer already. It's just a conditional offer, and you will get the same conditional offer later on. Okay, it's just it's because they got from a different process. But you don't have to worry. Oh, but my friend already have a conditional offer. It doesn't matter. It's not going to change. It's not going to give him any advantage toward you. Okay, you will have the same chance to go to the university as exactly the same chance that he will. So you will get the same conditional offer, just in a different time. Okay, so yeah, I just would like to show just that I have that I think it would be easier for people to understand how the placement process works. So in the first couple of months, we are not going to make any applications, okay? We are going to focus on you, choose your course, choose your university, check entry requirements, compare with your accredited grades. I'm going to guide you through that. And even though if you tell me, Tiago, but I already know which university you still can change your mind because you have more than 30 partners. So it's important for you to know all of them because you have to make the best decision for you. And that could change. So we are going to spend a couple of months just to look at that. So all the courses, if you are not 100% sure what you want to study, I'm going to help you through that. Okay, we are going to search things together. I'm going to show you how to find that information, because what I want is when we start making your applications that you are absolutely sure of what you want. Okay, that, oh yes, Tiago, now I know this is what I want, because you have to think that that will change your life for a lot of years ahead. Whatever choice you make, whatever course you decide to study, or the university, that will impact your life for a lot of years ahead. So I need you to be absolutely sure that you are making the correct decision. Okay, and then after February, when we are going to have our university fair, next year we will probably in a different format than we usually do, but we will still have an event where you will be able to meet the universities, talk with them. And then after that, in March and April, it's when we usually start the applications. Okay, so we are going to make applications again together, and then you are going to get your conditional offers. You are going to make your first and your insurance choice. You are going to pay your deposits if they are required from you. And then you are going to get your final results with DIFC. And then you are going to get your unconditional offer. You pay your fees, you apply to your visa, and you go to college. It's a very simple process, and you just have to work with us. And I can guarantee at the end, everything will work really, really well. Okay.
Great, thanks, Tiago. I think that the two important takeaways from that explanation are students should not listen to outside noise or hearsay, and they should just work with the DIFC placement team to secure their offer, that we know what we're doing and we have a lot of experience in this. The second point is, and this is really just for, I suppose, the government funded students. So if you're sponsored by your own ministry, you actually have to approve with your ministry, with your sponsor, if you want to make any changes to your study plan, because that's not our decision. And ultimately, if they're paying for your education, they have to be on board with the decisions that you make. Then Tiago, another question that comes up commonly, particularly around medicine, is what type of experience is required, or what type of work shadowing is required for students to meet entry requirements for certain medical partners, which that's a fundamental entry requirement, please.
Yeah, so just to clarify for all the students, not all the universities will ask work experience as a mandatory entry requirement. It doesn't mean that you will not need it. Okay, so for example, some universities, yes, if you don't have work experience, they will probably not consider your application. And by work experience, we have pretty much two forms of work experience. You have work shadowing, that it's pretty much you are going to shadowing a doctor in a health care environment. That could be in a hospital, could be in a GP. There are a lot of different ways to do that. In a shadowing work experience, there is no involvement from your side. You are there just to observe, okay? And then we have a second form of work experience that is volunteering. And then, yes, you will actively do things. So, for example, you could work tutoring children. You could work with disadvantaged groups. You could work with elders in a home. And now I appreciate not all of you have work experience, and maybe now it's a hard time to find, but for our September, I have done a big research, so I found lots of online volunteer. Okay, so there's a huge list. For example, there are some that you can exchange letters with elder people from home that they don't have, in homes where they don't have family. They will write letters for you, and you can reply those letters. It's a very nice thing that will bring your personal statement, that will bring your application to another level. Okay, because you are doing a volunteer, and this is what it's medicine about it. Okay, it's you caring for people, and you work with the, so you still have a lot of options. And of course, I can send all those links to Ray and Nerly, and they can share with you. There are a lot of volunteering works that you can do online, and you can start now. Even though you are coming January, when you come in January, you would have a lot of those box tickets. And even for the universities where the work experience is not mandatory, what the medical universities are looking for, it's your commitment with your future profession, and how you are going to show commitment if you haven't actually done anything about it. So if you haven't done any shadowing or any volunteer work, it's very hard to show that you are committed to being a doctor if you don't have any work experience. Okay.
Brilliant, thank you, Tiago. Another question that I get asked commonly is, does the placement guarantee a specific university for me? So maybe you could just touch on no and why not.
Okay, so I think we have two different answers here. So if you are talking about medicine or health and science in general, there's no kind of guarantee, even for your second choice or third. Okay, so for health and science, for medicine, we have a very high. We usually place all students, not necessarily the choice that they actually want in the first choice, but in their second choice. Okay, we usually do, but we cannot guarantee that you will actually get. But for all other courses, we have the NCUK guarantee. So even if it's not your first choice, you will get a seat in at least one of our university partners.
And I think that's a very important point, because when I speak about there's no guarantee with medicine, you know, what I say to people regularly is, if somebody tells you you're guaranteed a place in medicine, they're not telling you the truth.
Absolutely not.
So what we've got to do is tell people the truth, and then we simply show people our placement statistics. And if you look at 2019, before COVID-19, 98% of DIFC students got either their first or second choice of university.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
that's the statistic that we point to.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have a very strong relationship with our partners. So we work really, really close. And I can't think anywhere where students will get the level of support that they get at DIFC. So all your teachers will always support you all the time. Myself in placement, I will guide and support you all the time. And our past students will be able to tell you that we are always available. And if you need extra meetings, individual support, individual thoughts, you will get all of that. So our job is to place you at the end. That is my main goal, and I will do everything that I can to do that. You just, from your side, what you have to do is study hard, get your grades, and work with me. And I can tell you, you will get your seat at the end.
And I think that's an important point, because there are many factors that influence university choices, and it doesn't just come down to academic grades. It comes down to what a family can afford. It comes down to your feeling for the city you're going to study in, the facilities at that university, what's the accommodation like, what are the laboratories like in the university, what type of sporting or music or drama opportunities are going to be available, what is the work experience both during the degree and after. So there's a lot of factors to consider.
Absolutely. And I usually when the students come to in our first tutorials or first meeting, the students ask me, what is the best university? So that doesn't exist. So you should like put that out of your vocabulary. What you should be asking is, what is the best university for me? Okay, right. Because so many different factors. And I can tell you, every single student, when they come to the DIFC, after 3 months, they all come, oh, I want to go to that university. After 3 or 4 months, they will change their mind, okay? Because they will know all their partners, they will know all the advantages of other, what they can offer to you. And you know, some universities could have class with 200 students, another university will have class with just 20 in a class. So some of them will be more expensive. So you have to take into consideration your budget as well. And then, for example, some universities could have a lot of partnership with hospitals. Other university has a much bigger alumni that could help you to find a job. So there are so many things that you have to think about it. And you have to think, what's the best option for you? Which university will facilitate you to achieve your goals in terms of your career, what you want to do after.
Great, thanks a million, Tiago. I think you've answered all my questions. So if anybody else has any questions for Tiago, you know, please feel free to either put it in the chat facility below, or if you want to come off mute to ask the question either. Because Tiago will only be with us for another few minutes.
Yeah, there is a couple of questions, or there's one question here. In the DIFC application form, Tiago, students are asked to list 3 university choices. What this student is wondering is it possible to change from those choices later on down the track?
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, we are going to work for 2 or 3 months just to make sure that you are in the correct pathway. And as I said before, it's not 1 or 2 students. I'm talking about 70% of our students. They come at DIFC thinking about one university, and that will change. I can guarantee to you. Because right now, whatever you think you know about the universities, when you come to us, you see that you know nothing, because you will be exposed to those universities in a different level, in a much deeper level. And then I can tell you that whatever you think you know when you are in the DIFC, when you start doing college, you think you knew nothing about career as well, because when you start to college at the university, they will expose you in your future career in a different level as well. So your mind, you will always change your mind, because you will always have more information. So more informed you are, you will be able to make much better decisions. And this is what we are going to do with you. You will inform you. We will give a lot of information for you to make the best decision for you.
Perfect. I will just make one comment on that. Where students are being sponsored, particularly with a government sponsor, any changes in their study plan will need to be approved by their sponsor. So it's important to keep communication lines open with your sponsor if you are a sponsored student, and just make sure that if you want to change your study plan, that it's put through your sponsor as a first point.
Yeah, it always happens. And so every year we will have some sponsor students that want to change, and they always come to us. So it's important to reinforce that we have no power over that. So we cannot make that decision. So if you want to change your university, you have to liaise with your sponsor, and your sponsor will be the only one who can agree or not with that. We have no power. It's not our decision.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tiago. And I think you probably touched on my #1 point I make when I travel around the world, which is, if we give people bad information, they will make bad decisions. But if we give people the right information, they will make the right decision. And again, I would just like to reiterate to students, stop listening to outside influences, stop listening to hearsay or what you should be doing. Speak to Tiago, speak to the DIFC placement team or our support services, and we will give you the right information, which is factual, just for you.
Absolutely. And it's really, really important for our future students to know that you will be in very close contact with the university as well. So we bring the universities to talk with you all the time. So even it's not just during your university fair. So in all the year, you will always have universities coming to talk with you, to give presentations, and you will be able to ask everything to them. So that's really, really important. It's not just us. You will have access to all those partners as well, always.
Okay, I think.
Great. Thanks, Tiago. And that was really, really informative. Thanks very much.
Yeah, can I just touch in one point that we haven't, but I would like to reinforce with all our students. So which documents you will need to make your application? So the first thing, the most important is we need your official transcripts, okay, your official high school transcripts. I appreciate because of the COVID that could be late a little bit. So it's okay for you to come with us with an online version or a print screen of your results. But when we start making your applications to the university, you need your official one. Okay, is that beautiful diploma transcript that you get by post in a paper? So that's what you will need. So there is no way to make your application if you don't have your official documents. And then you will need a copy of your passport. That's an easy one. You will need a personal statement, and I'm going at myself and your teachers are going to work with you to write a personal statement. You will need a reference letter from DIFC. If you are applying to medicine, it's important that you have a reference letter from your high school as well, or from your work experience if you have any. And then, of course, for PMP, you do need a reference letter from your undergrad course. And then you will need a CV, and for medical students, you will need a TSS. So it's just to reinforce that.
Great, thanks, Tiago.
I think before you go, we might put the same question to you as the last. And what would be your top tip, just to put you on the spot, for students joining in January?
Yeah, absolutely. I think from my contact with the students, I think there is one point that I see quite a lot. It's when they let the fear take control. So a lot of the students, they will try to find excuse to quit because they are afraid. Do not let that happen. You are stronger than that. So, and then they start, oh, but it's too hard. The entry requirements is too hard. And then he will try to find excuse to quit. Do not let that happen. You are strong. We will support you all the way through. I know it's scary because when you start, it's very different from your high school. And you will need 1 or 2 months to get used with your new reality. And I appreciate online, it's another challenge as well. But in 2 months, you see that things will get easier. It's just the beginning, it's tough because you need some time for adjustment. But my advice is, do not let your fear take control. Okay, you are in control, not your fear. I think that's it.
Great. Thank you very much, Tiago, for that session. It was really informative, and you know,
Thanks, Tiago.
thanks up on the chat. So thank you very much.